Right. Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the Front Office Report. I'm here with Dan. Nice to see you, Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Crazy last couple of days in the NBA though.
Ooh, yeah, the NBA has been real drunk over the last
It
like
has.
48 hours.
It has.
Yeah, it's been some crazy stuff. We're gonna talk about some of the sort of main storylines. Obviously, we've had the playoffs ongoing, two massive games over the last couple of days. I think we're gonna start with the Eastern Conference. Game 7, the Hawks
The big one.
gone through. Yeah, the big storyline. The Hawks have defeated the Philadelphia 76ers and have gone through to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, a massive result. Just sort of your general thoughts on sort of this result?
I can't believe it, but I can believe it because it's like it's one of those things. If you told me at the beginning of the playoffs that the Hawks would be in the final, I wouldn't have believed you because to me it just seems like such a big burden on Trae Young to carry this team. There's no real superstar next to him. They have a great team surrounding him for sure, a lot of good role players, but no, Ben Simmons is supposed to have Joel Embiid, vice versa, James Harden, KD, Durant, with Kyrie. There's always that extra person there supposed to be helping you, and Trae Young has just carried his team over. So I think it's a crazy good result, but in hindsight, Philadelphia just aren't the team that I thought they would be. They're a regular season team, but then when you look at the coaching statistics, the player statistics, it adds up perfectly to a recipe for disaster, to be honest with you.
Something's just not working. It's actually quite ironic. You could probably compare this Sixers team to the Hawks from a few years ago. That team that won like 60 odd games in the playoffs. In the regular season, got to the playoffs and got bounced. But this is now sort of the second or third year that the Sixers have had big struggles in the playoffs. It does seem to be that they as you say, they do fantastic in the regular season. They get into the playoffs, and then it's sort of just Joel Embiid trying to carry them every single round. And obviously Twitter has been abuzz with the Ben Simmons slander.
And rightly so, though. Rightly so.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Ben Simmons, when he came into the league, and we were talking about this earlier, he was training with LeBron. There was so much hype around him, so much good footage. He looked like a complete player, like a player that it's almost like Russell Westbrook, where he gets a triple-double almost every single game, but he's less crazy than Russell Westbrook with his shooting.
I'm sure there must have been Magic comparisons at some point as being sort of the big point guard.
And I think
point guard.
Those were good comparisons at the time. But now, and during the regular season, those comparisons, I think, are still there. He's always been unable to hit a three-pointer. It's like a running joke. There's actually an ad. I don't know if you've seen it. There's an ad in Australia which makes fun of him not being able to hit a three-pointer.
When Ben Simmons makes a three, we give a big high
five. I think I saw it during the game of the night.
It's a weird one. It's weird that he actually took part in that because it's kind of like slam dunking on himself.
Like mugging yourself off.
It's whatever. Yeah. But I mean, last night there was the one instance, which is like the number one thing that, like, if you look at it, screams Ben Simmons is nowhere near a complete basketball player. It's when he had the ball, turned Gallinari inside out, had a free layup or dunk, and decided to pass it across court for Tobias Harris to then miss the dunk and get free throws.
Thibault.
Oh, sorry, Matthias Thibault. Yeah. And I just thought, and I'm not a basketball player, but I would have taken that shot. Like,
it was I genuinely, I couldn't believe what I was watching. This is a guy that is 6'11", 240 pounds. The start of the play was unbelievable. A brilliant turn to as you say, turn the defender inside out.
Yeah.
He could dunk it, he could lay it up. But I think that just shows his confidence is absolutely shot.
And Joel Embiid afterwards was in his ear on the way back to the half court. And you could tell he was furious because, you know, as a player who's been carrying it, he's had a torn meniscus. Isn't that right? A torn meniscus?
I think it was torn meniscus. Yeah.
And he's playing through that, playing like crazy. And you have a guy who can't even make a simple layup.
Like a bunny.
I mean,
a little tiny layup. Yeah.
It's confusing. I don't know what's happened to him.
It is puzzling more than anything else. I mean, as I said, this is sort of the second or third time that the Sixers have been in this situation now. Mm-hmm. I don't think they can just run it back again. I think this is we're gonna see some big changes in the offseason for Philadelphia. Would you think?
I would. If I'm Daryl Morey, I do my best to get rid of Ben Simmons, but it's not going to be easy. His trade value is the lowest it's ever been. I mean, Doc Rivers last night, and I don't know what he was thinking when he did this. He said, someone asked him, is Ben Simmons a superstar,
a series winner or something like that? Yeah.
And he basically said no in the nicest possible way. And if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm running to the press conference and dragging them both away from the cameras and the mics because, you know, he's getting paid $25 million a year, and there's no justification for that whatsoever. So if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm getting rid of him. I think Daryl Morey's done a decent job bringing in Seth Curry. I think Dallas perhaps beats the Clippers if they have Seth Curry, like a deadly 3-point shooter. Very good. Amazing series for him. I think he drafted well. But you got to get rid of Ben Simmons and bring in someone else. And I don't know who that is. Maybe Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's on the move, sounds like. So is it possible?
Yeah. So Rivers was asked if he still believes Simmons can be a championship point guard, and he said, "I don't know the answer to that." I think
a no.
It's a damning. It's pretty much a no. Let's be honest. That's a no.
That's a no.
It is a damning indictment of a player that you drafted and had such high hopes for.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that thinking of a combination of Embiid and I've forgotten who you said already, just as Damian Lillard, sorry. Lillard. Thinking of that combination together, I mean, that would be scary, but
it would. It'd be great.
I think the Sixers might actually struggle to put together a package to pull Lillard, considering the value that Simmons is at now.
But it's at that really awkward moment where it's like, I think Daryl Morey, Daryl Morey's in a predicament that he was in Houston with when Chris Paul got injured and he traded Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. And then Russell Westbrook didn't work out and he left town. So he's kind of like got this superstar and he's not sure, because Ben Simmons is still superstar. I mean, still has the air of superstardom around him. But, you know, I think in the regular season, he's fine. It's crunch time for him. So I got some stats here for you. All right. And this is the fourth quarter stats shooting wise for Ben Simmons. Okay. From game 1 to game 7. Game 1, he went 2 for 2 in the fourth quarter. Not too bad. That's 2 shots. It's okay. Game 2, he had no shots. Game 3, he went 1 for 1. And then between game 4 and game 7, he had no shots in the fourth quarter. Game 4 to game 7, your point guard is not shooting. And it makes you wonder. And then another crazy statistic, Ben Simmons has the worst free throw percentage in postseason NBA history with a minimum of 70 attempts at 34.2%. Now, that if you think about all the postseason free throw shooters like Shaq, like Dwight Howard, who cannot hit free throws to save their lives, it just adds up. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever what's happened with Ben Simmons. And I'm not really sure where to go here. That's why you give the big money to Daryl Morey at this point, because, you know, he has to find someone and find somewhere to basically.
He's got some big decisions to make. I mean, you just expect a lot more from him. Like I think, as you sort of said, we knew sort of coming in, the 3-point shot wasn't there. I think the general assumption was that, okay, the free throws he should be able to sort of solidify. It's obviously not happened. We obviously have had players in the game that have not been good at the line, have not particularly been shooters, but have still been able to use that physical ability to become superstars. So I personally, I still think there is a superstar level in there. I just think, as I say, I think the confidence is at an all-time low, and I really think he's going to have to go away over summer and do sort of some real soul searching and just think about what am I going to do with my game.
But this feels like a part two. You remember when Philadelphia drafted Markelle Fultz, and he couldn't shoot either.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
And it's like making me wonder, like, what is with Philadelphia and their first round picks? Like, what's happening? I don't get it. It's really confusing. It's very worrying. If I'm a Philadelphia fan, I am livid.
Concerned. Yeah.
I mean,
it's fuming.
You can't look at this team and say, yeah, this is just a second round exit. Like, this should be this should be a team competing for the championship.
And especially considering sort of the results that we've seen with the Nets going out, this would probably have been a very good chance for them to have got to the finals. I mean, I'm not saying Giannis and the Bucks is an easy game, but I think I'd rather face the Bucks than the Nets.
Definitely.
Even sort of without Kyrie or Kyrie sort of being in and out. I mean, it's a big problem down there in Philly right now.
I mean, we can't pin it all on Ben Simmons because it is a team game after all. I mean, Joel Embiid, he kept them in the game, but he also did have 8. He's the first player with consecutive 8 turnover games in the postseason in 38 years.
Not right.
So
oh my god,
it's a difficult one because as someone who loves watching James Harden, and with James Harden comes turnovers. It's kind of like the same with Joel Embiid. It comes with turnovers, so it's part of the package. But it doesn't help when those games were close. I mean, last night's game was close. There's no doubt about it. The Hawks were only up by 2 when Ben Simmons basically threw that 2-pointer away to his teammate, which blew the free throws as well. So
they could have won it. They could have won it 100%.
easily. And I don't know where you go from here. I don't know what Ben Simmons does from here. I mean, you've got 121 days before the NBA is back. It's not that long, to be honest with you, but still enough time to kind of think about your future and what went wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of, like you said, soul searching going on for him. But I'm not really sure what they do from here.
Yeah, I think Tobias Harris is another big question mark as well. I mean, if you look at his stats over the playoffs, they're pretty solid. I mean, he's got 22 points, 3.5 assists. I mean, it's not awful. 8.5 rebounds is not terrible. But there again have definitely been games where the Sixers have struggled. They've sort of come up in those periods where they haven't been able to score. This is another guy who is earning a pretty considerable amount of money. I think he's getting over 20 million a year, I believe. You expect him to be able to step up and sort of take over and be that second man for Embiid when perhaps Simmons isn't playing as well. Or I mean, you could probably argue that Seth Curry might have actually been the Sixers' second best player on this playoff run.
Easily. I think he where is it here? It says 2 NBA records for Seth Curry. Seth Curry made 3 of 5 shots from 3, finishing the series 31 for 52 from deep. That's 59.6%. That's the highest percentage in NBA history by a player in any series on 45 or more 3-pointer attempts. That's crazy.
Damn.
That's phenomenal. And to have that player not like how is Seth not in the finals at this point, the conference finals with you shooting that clip? It's unbelievable. And although we've talked about Philly a lot, let's give some props to Atlanta because it played out their minds. The entire team. I know Trae Young is that centerpiece, but every single one of those players who played, maybe Gallinari is the one guy who I'm really concerned about just because of his paycheck to actual stats doesn't kind of like equal each other. He's not earning his money if you want to put it that way. But Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, John Collins, Lou Will, Herter, all amazing players. Herter made those crazy threes at the end to basically push Atlanta through the final check mark, if you will. So
I think I think it sort of shows that the squad they've put together, that if you look at this playoff run, they have seven people scoring over 10 points right now. They are just a really well-balanced team.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Trae is the sort of the diamond in the crown as such. But yeah, I think, I don't know if we mentioned it in this video, this was us just speaking. They haven't really got that second star yet.
Yeah, no, they don't.
I think they have someone in John Collins who potentially could be that.
Yeah. It's just a very young team. Just a very young team.
Yeah.
I
and
think
they're definitely, they are
in the NBA.
In the playoffs.
Yeah, for the starting five for sure, because Herter's young, Trae Young's young, Clint Capella's 25, 26.
Trae's 22, Collins is 23.
Yeah.
Herter's 22. DeAndre Hunter's 23, Clint Capella 26,
He's
Okongwu, who's been actually coming in and playing some really valuable minutes as a rookie.
Must be 29.
He is 28. Oh, no, sorry, wrong one. Gallinari, where is he? He's 32. So yeah, he's sort of the vet of the team.
Yeah, the worst player as well.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I would also love it if we could just sort of reverse that Rondo for Williams trade and we could have Lou back on the Clippers. That would be great.
Although Lou Williams didn't play at like his usual carrying the bench unit stuff that he normally does, but that's just
Rondo's been trash.
Yeah. Everyone knows just Rondo, right? So, but Atlanta are fantastic, and I think they're going to struggle against the Bucks big time, especially with Giannis's size. Clint Capella, he's just not. He handled Embiid well, but Giannis is another level, if you will, to Embiid, and I just don't know if he can match up. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Atlanta, I think. But they have a shot. They've come this far. Why not?
Again, like I said, I think their squad depth is almost their sort of big plus point right now. I think you could potentially argue that they have the deeper team compared to the Bucks.
Yeah.
But I could see it being another really good series. I agree with you. I am slightly worried about the size that Giannis brings.
Yeah.
I feel that if he has sort of decided, you know what, I've had enough of this messing around, no more 7-game series, and he could just come out and have a 40-point, 15 rebounds.
Just gonna have to make Giannis throw free throws the entire time.
Hope
he misses
both of those, make jumpers. I think if he gets into the paint with regularity, I think that could be
a big issue.
Dangerous. And I could see this series being a lot quicker than perhaps the Hawks would like it to be. If I pushed you for a little prediction of Hawks Bucks,
that's so difficult. It's so without watching a game like game one, it's really difficult to envision how this is.
You don't know how they're going to match up, who's going to go against who.
I think Atlanta have so much fight in them that they just don't go down until game 7, and Bucks at home in 7. So I'm going to go Bucks in 7.
Okay.
I don't want it though. I want Atlanta to win so bad, but I just don't see Clint Capella being able to handle Giannis. I just don't.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit more optimistic than me. As much as I sort of love this fairy tale Hawks run, like you said, I don't think they've got the size to match up with Giannis.
I used the exact sentence you used. I said, I think as much as I like the fairy tale of the Atlanta Hawks, I think Philly will beat them, and look what happened.
That's very true. That's very true.
But I don't know. Who knows?
I'm taking Bucks in 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Shorter series.
I don't think they've got the longevity this time.
Yeah.
Again, I would love it if they actually even took it to game 7, let alone if they maybe get through.
Yeah.
And sort of with my Clippers hat on, I think I'd much rather face the Hawks than
of course
than the Bucks if we can make it through to the finals. That is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see. Game 1 is the game 1 tonight.
No, Clippers are tonight.
Clippers tonight, so game 1 tomorrow. Let's see how that goes. I think I'll be tuning in as long as it's not at some mad
crazy
hour of the night in the UK. But
I
think we'll leave it on this.
Time.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Nice early game for me to join in with. So we'll leave it on that for the Sixers. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you head down, drop us a little subscription, have a little look at the other videos we posted recently. We've had one on Formula One dropping. We're going to have a little chat about the Clippers as well coming up. We've got some Euros content on there, so we're popping off. Thank you for joining in, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like hearing us ramble about sports, feel free to subscribe at the top right, check out the next videos on the left, and feel free to leave us a like at the bottom. Thank you guys for watching.